our group considers that today, more than ever, we must promote the right to development.
Without exercise of the right to development, one cannot guarantee the enjoyment of other human rights.
The right to development should be central to the post-2015 development agenda.
Realization of the right to development represents an important factor to the full enjoyment of all human rights.
Next speaker is United Nations Watch. You have the floor.
Mr. President, it is well and good for countries here to talk about the right to development or the right to be free from foreign debt, but let us recall that there are numerous UN agencies mandated to address such matters, while this Council is the only one to speak out for victims whose governments have violated their freedom of religion, freedom of speech, right to fair trial, or right to life and liberty. Too often we seem to be straying from the basic principles and purposes of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Too often our focus is being diverted to new and amorphous definitions of human rights, where it becomes difficult, if not impossible, to identify who is the violator and who the victim. The very currency of human rights, in the words of Jacob Mchangama, is being devalued. Mr. President, it is time for the UN to start addressing the most serious violations of human rights. It is time to start returning the focus to the victims, because the world needs to know about victims in Sudan, like Miriam Ibrahim, a 27-year-old pregnant woman who in May of this year was sent to prison along with her 20-month-old son for refusing to renounce her belief in Christianity. She was accused of apostasy and imprisoned along with her 20-month-old son. In Vietnam, human rights activist Pham Chi Dung was blocked from coming here to speak in this council. In Pakistan, Sawan Masih was accused of insulting the Prophet. He was arbitrarily detained and sentenced to death. In Venezuela, the world needs to know that the government fails to investigate the torture of Judge Maria Afuni. In Bangladesh...
Point of order, point of order. The delegation of Venezuela.
Gracias, Presidente.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I would like to state that it is a procedural point of order. We want to express our discontent because a political organization is again lying about the human rights situation in our country. We are on agenda item 2 and 3, the general debate, and therefore we do not think it is relevant to talk about specific country situations. Thank you.
The floor to our delegation. Let me recall, as should be known to all of us, and I have the language of the Secretariat in front of me, that as we know, human rights situations do not arise in the vacuum. So speakers are expected, are expected to address issues of a general content, but they may have cases of illustration. So there is nothing in what has been said that seems to me contrary to this applied principle. So I will ask the speakers to continue and terminate his intervention.
Mr. President, I don't know why this is being described as outside the agenda, where I'm holding here the document that is before every delegate on this agenda from the Secretary General on reprisals, and I'm quoting from that report. According to the Special Rapporteur on Torture, no investigation by the government of Venezuela has taken place into the reports of torture of Judge Afuni. This is on the agenda from the Secretary General himself.